Have you ever stared at the ceiling in the early hours of morning and asked yourself, why can't I stay consistent? Why do I always start strong and end up right back where I began? You set a goal. You make a plan. Maybe you even feel that initial wave of motivation, that electric charge in your chest that says, this time will be different. But a week passes. You miss a day. Then two. And soon, the old version of you creeps back in. You're not lazy. You're not hopeless. You're just human. And you're facing a silent battle that most people fight alone, the battle between desire and discipline. So, what if I told you that you're not broken, you're just missing the invisible force that turns dreams into reality? Napoleon Hill, the man behind Think and Grow Rich, called it persistence. But not the loud kind. Not the bold, dramatic, chest-beating kind. He meant the quiet persistence. The kind you do when no one is clapping. When no one sees you show up. When the results haven't shown up yet, but you do anyway. He wrote, persistence is the sustained effort necessary to induce faith. In other words, persistence is the bridge between intention and belief. It's not just about doing, it's about becoming. Think of any dream you've had. Any change you've wanted to make. Maybe you wanted to lose weight. Start a business. Wake up earlier. Write a book. Fix a relationship. Build your confidence. You probably started with excitement, energy, a list of things to do. But Hill warned us, the moment you commit to a goal, resistance appears. And that resistance? That's life asking you, how badly do you want this? Let me tell you about a woman named Rachel. Rachel had been struggling with her health for years. Late nights. Stress eating. No energy. She tried every diet, every workout plan, but nothing stuck. She'd burn bright for a week, then crash hard. Then one day, she came across a single line from Napoleon Hill that stopped her in her tracks. The majority of people are ready to throw their aims and purposes overboard and give up at the first sign of opposition or misfortune. It hit her. That was her pattern. Start. Stop. Start. Quit. So she made a quiet vow to herself, not to be perfect, but to be persistent. She didn't start with an hour at the gym. She started with 10 minutes. Every morning. Just movement. Then she added water. Then journaling. Then sleep. Tiny habits. Repeated daily. At first, it felt pointless. But 60 days later, she felt different. Not because she had lost weight, but because she kept her promise to herself. And that was the real transformation. You see, Napoleon Hill taught that habits are not just actions. They are agreements you make with yourself. And when you honor those agreements, your confidence grows. Think about that. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, and don't, you chip away at your trust in yourself. But every time you do the small thing, even when it feels insignificant, you're building self-respect. And that self-respect becomes fuel. Persistence isn't glamorous. It's gritty. It's invisible. It often looks like getting out of bed when no one else is watching. Writing a single sentence when you're tired. Putting on your shoes even when you're unmotivated. Saying no to something tempting because you said yes to your future. Hill once wrote, "Willpower and desire, when properly combined, make an irresistible pair. But willpower alone won't carry you." That's where habits come in. Habits are the vehicle that turn momentary strength into sustained success. Let's look at another story, this time, someone you've probably heard of, Stephen. Stephen King, now one of the most successful writers in history, started out with rejection. In fact, his first novel, Carrie, was rejected 30 times. He threw it in the trash. But his wife pulled it out, told him to keep going. What did he do? He sat down the next day and kept writing. He didn't wait for validation. He didn't wait for the world to believe in him. He persisted. That's the quiet engine behind every great success story, a person sitting alone, doing the thing again and again and again. And maybe you're not trying to write a novel. Maybe you're trying to rebuild your life. Maybe you're trying to become the person you know you were meant to be. But every version of that future you starts with the choice you make today. Will you choose to persist just for today? Not forever. Not next year. Not perfectly. Just today. Because Hill warned us of the greatest trap. Procrastination is the bad habit of putting off until the day after tomorrow what should have been done the day before yesterday. So, pause. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding? What small promise did I break to myself this week? What is one tiny action I can repeat, starting now? And here's the key, don't try to overhaul your life in one move. Instead, anchor your day with a ritual. A repeatable act that grounds you. 10 minutes of silence. A gratitude list. Reading one page. Stretching before bed. Logging your spending. Drinking your first glass of water before anything else. Small, but sacred. Not for the results yet, but for the identity it builds. Because Napoleon Hill taught this. Any idea, plan, or purpose may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought. And habits? They are repetition made physical. They rewire the mind, shape the body, rebuild the soul. Day by day, quietly, steadily. And if you fall off, that's okay. Failure is not a sign that you're unworthy. It's a sign that you're learning. What matters is what you do next. Because the most powerful shift is not in what you do, it's in who you believe yourself to be. And persistent people, they may not be the fastest, the smartest, the most talented, but they are the ones who refuse to quit. They build momentum, one ordinary day at a time. So, what do you need to recommit to? That daily walk? That budget plan? That hour of focused work? Write it down. Anchor it. Return to it. Don't wait for perfect timing. That's a myth. Hill said it best. Do not wait. The time will never be just right. So choose to begin. Today. Even if your voice shakes. Even if your hands tremble. Even if your motivation is nowhere to be found. Show up anyway. Because persistence isn't loud. It whispers, "I will try again." And when you whisper it long enough, it becomes your truth. That's how lives are transformed. That's how destinies are rewritten. That's how the ordinary becomes extraordinary.